Hey there, I'm Dean Walker, and I'm the founder of a tiny little organization on the interwebs called Living Resilience. It started about 10, 11 years ago with just the smallest little fragment of a website and a few offerings and a fledgling podcast, which is a YouTube channel called The Poetry of Predicament. So if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you're just a regular watcher of the Poetry of Predicament podcast videos. And you are so welcome to be watching this and to be including yourself in the invitation that is this video, the purpose of this video. And basically, this is a big evolutionary step amongst many evolutionary steps over these 10 plus years of doing this work. This work is of course, is supporting, is offering transformative support, resources, and practices to the collapse aware and collapse acceptant communities around the world. And those are still pretty small communities, no matter where you go, but they are growing. And it is very much a privilege and an honor to be able to supply some amount of useful information or online courses or support groups or special focus experiential practice groups. That's the kind of thing we do here in what's called Living Resilience. Living Resilience is that organization that I mentioned founding. And what has really come about in this most recent evolutionary step is I'm seeing now it's just we're really cornered as far as I'm concerned into this is the last ditch effort that we might have space for at any kind of scale to be able to find our people, find the people that we can call community or call neighbors or call family members, people with whom you have enough affinity to be able to speak about things that really matter to you. And with this chain of existential crises that are going on, oftentimes called the poly crisis or the meta crisis. Uh, it's hard to imagine anything occurring at a larger scale than what we're facing right now. And again, it says it's only a very small portion of the global population that really has the wherewithal, has the capacity within themselves to be able to look honestly and really straight on at what's going on. And so I want to describe to you a little bit about what we're setting up for the last half of 2024. I'm speaking to you on the last day of June in 2024. And we're looking at putting together approximately an 18-month, maybe 2-year long special focus series. Month by month, we're going to be focusing on each month will be a different element of that's central to the human condition, something that is literally at our core, whether we're conscious of it or not, whether we've evolved it and expanded it as an important skill set or capacity to have in these times or not. Each month, we will do our best to focus on some sort of element of the human experience that is resonant or important to as many of us as possible. It's meant to be, this program is not meant to be something that you have to sign up for the entire 18 months or 2 years. It's really meant to be something that you come back and visit when you're ready for the next round of what matters most to you. You'll be able to know what's coming up in the subsequent months. You're going to know, for instance, we have a book club here in Living Resilience, and we've been running a number of very strong books in the past 2 years in which we've been having this book club. And it's been a few months since we've been doing any sort of activity in the book club. We're going to be starting that up in the first week of August. In fact, most of what I'm going to be talking about here is starting up in the first week of August. And why you're watching this, this is slightly different than just an introduction to living resilience and what are the various kinds of offerings we do. I will briefly cover those offerings. The purpose of this video is to let it be known that at the core of this 18-month to 2-year special focus series in living resilience is to really cast a wide net for contributions to a conversation of how can we create this existentially volatile time in human history? How can we create this as a time of um, opportunity, opportunity to uh, expand our capacities to be present in the face of larger and larger stressors. Another way we often say that is expand our capacity to be of service to those we love in a time that promises to offer larger and larger stressors. So, what this evolutionary step is that I keep mentioning is that, we've really gone beyond the time, as far as I'm concerned. This is just my judgment now. We've gone beyond the time of the usefulness of endless day by day adding to the list of things that are effed up in our world, that are screwed up, that are dysfunctional or in the process of collapse right now or soon to be so. And I call that the sober data of the world. This is the next set of reports about the oceans or the ice sheets or the habitat loss and species extinction, and on the list goes in both environmental issues and also in human systems issues. And what this special focus program is about is we will be curating a series of podcast interviews, panel discussions, um, activity-based, practice-based events that we'll be having and sponsoring in our online community space at Mighty Networks space for living resilience. We're going to be having all those things on a very regular basis. And every month there will be a different, again, core theme, having something to do with mental health or mental ill health, but also well-being at a broader view, like physical well-being, of course, mental well-being or mental health, as I've just said, and then also spiritual well-being and relational well-being, the ability to reconnect with deeper self, other people, with earth, and perhaps with soul. And again, I know this has been kind of a long-winded way of letting you know what makes this particular evolutionary step so important for us here is that not only will we be including the usual kind of thought leaders and, in this case, mental health professionals, we will be talking to those people who are well known in the field and so on. But this is a very different time now. We are in what I consider to be the last major phase of having enough normalcy in the average person's life. Again, I'm speaking primarily to the ultra privileged in populations of the USA, of Europe, of the global north, and so on. And I find it to be an important time to shift our attention in a significant way away from the constant prattle day by day of the listing of the various ways in which humans are causing collapse in both Earth and human systems. So there'll be a great reduction in this program's offering of that sober data that I was describing. And most importantly, and really the punchline of this particular part of why I'm talking with you, is that we will be inviting people from all walks of life to participate in curating a new way of defining what is mental health in these times. What is uh, what is the optimal way that you would like to be addressing and feeding and cultivating your relationships in these times? You might also already be guessing one of the main themes that's starting to creep up as I'm introducing this last piece to you is we're seeing that this is as good a time as ever has been to declare that this is a time of planetary hospice. So many of the elements of collapse of both Earth and human systems caused by humans. So many of these examples of collapse are fully visible now, and they promise to become more and more visible and inarguable as time goes on. And it is no longer, I think, no longer smart to rely on, certainly, we can't rely on government or corporate voices at this time. They are so encased in and saturated in the business as usual model, the zero sum model that has gotten us into these predicaments. But it's also a time to really tell the truth about even the thought leaders who have been sort of in that liminal zone of saying that we each have something considerable to bring to the conversation, when I think it's quite obvious by now that really nobody knows how to handle this. Nobody knows how to find solutions in this. And I'm not at all saying that we should all just give it up and not listen to anyone and not try to address certain elements till till the last shot is fired, so to speak. But it is a time to start to really inquire in our own selves, the people, all of us who are not necessarily mental health professionals. We're not necessarily spiritual advisors at any level. We may or may not have any real skill set in terms of the encouragement of an embodiment of deep resilience skills or space holding skills, circle facilitation skills, the kinds of higher level skills that we will all be needing no matter where we are in the planet, no matter how privileged our neighborhood happens to be. These are the kind of skills that are going to be called on and called for. And so this is the level that which we are going to be forming the circles and support groups and special focus practice groups and so on, and the online courses, of course, here in Living Resilience. So here's the invitation. You're again watching this perhaps because you have been invited already through one of our letters that we send out to specific thought leaders or creatives or people who have shown some sort of gravitas, some sort of ability, some sort of skill set or capacity to be able to offer something of use to the people around you. So if that's the case, I hope you will consider this invitation, this warm invitation to come and be a part of a living resilience, or I should say, poetry of predicament YouTube channel, podcast, interview. It would be wonderful to have you in that. You may be a perfect person to be on a panel discussion about a certain topic of monthly topics that I was talking about before. So you may also have a body of work that is well suited to be included in the basic resilience skills, which we often call first aid level resilience skills that many people encounter the need for as they enter this conversation. You may have some advanced resilience skills. You may have some advanced space holding or shadow inquiry skills. You may have some strong skills in terms of building trust and community at any level. That will be an extraordinarily useful skill that we will ask people to come and share about, and perhaps even run a workshop experience for us and so on. The thing that I want to include, in addition to what I hope I have just done, which is to underscore our invitation to you, if you already know that you have something to bring to this collapse aware and collapse acceptant community around the world, we're also wanting to inquire, to invite people from all walks of life to offer up what you have discovered as your inner resources that you call on as you are challenged in these times. Also, the external resources that you or your family, your loved ones call on in these times. These are the kinds of shareable um, community development elements that we hope you will um, feel free to connect with us, to set up some way that we can include whatever you'd like to share in terms of these inner resources or these external resources, and how you and the people you love, the community that you're in, your coworkers, how you co-regulate, how you co-create in the face of these existentially demanding times. That's really what this video is about, is this invitation. And that's very much what is at the center of this 18-month to 2-year long special focus program is about. It'll be some of the major thinkers of our time, people who, can help us with advanced sense making or advanced self and co-regulation or community building or space holding at an advanced level. There are so many ways in which we can contribute to one another. So one example I would like to make really clear is here in Living Resilience, especially where all of this stuff lives, is in our online community space. It's a Mighty Networks online space, and the link to how to connect up with this Mighty Network space, this Living Resilience online community space. That link will be down in the show notes of this video. And when you do click on that, if you're not already a member, you'll see a number of levels at which you can join. There's, of course, the new member level, which is at no cost, and you're welcome to come on in at that level. And enjoy yourself. The vast majority of our elements there, the courses and the groups and so on, are free, and so will be available to you. There are some that we request that, if at all possible, you have the resources, that you would choose one of the levels in which there's a monthly contribution requested. I think it goes something along the lines of $5 or $10 or even $30, or if you have more resources and want to, there's a way to do even more than that. We really want to make that as easy and as flexible a situation as possible. Again, it's, like every other online entity these days, we need to keep ourselves in financial sufficiency to be able to keep the doors open to be offering what we offer. So, like a little unofficial Patreon account. This is not Patreon. This is just a choice that you can make to financially contribute on a monthly basis or not. If you have any questions about that, about how to do that and what the different levels are and so on, in fact, if you have questions about anything that you're hearing on this video today, my contact information will be just below that link for membership into the online community space. So the one piece that I wanted to mention to you, actually, there'll be a couple of pieces that I'm going to mention as attributes of this online community space that you may want to check out. The first that I'd like to mention is our book club that I mentioned before. And we're going to be starting up after a few months of hiatus here in August, in early August of 2024. We're going to be reading the book together, Climate Cure, Heal Yourself to Heal the Planet by Jack Adam Weber. And Jack Adam Weber, he's been a person who has contributed in a significant way to all of our introductory courses for the past couple of years. He recorded what I call the first aid level resilience skills training for our introductory course. Our introductory course is now called Collateral Beauty. I would recommend highly for you to, once you sign up, to be able to just go right into the course area, find Collateral Beauty, and just at your own pace, go through the layers. There's about 5 sections. They're meant to be done one a week, but you can take longer than that. It's definitely up to your own pacing and capacity. And you will soon run into a lovely introduction to the first aid level resilience skills, the ways to come home to our body through breath, through contact, through an ever deeper awareness of our own bodies. And Jack is the person who introduces that skill set in that beginning course, Collateral Beauty. So then we have Jack and his book, Climate Cure, and I'm just couldn't I'm beside myself to be able to have us read this book together in starting in August of 2024. And like so many book clubs that we've had sessions of for these past 2 years, we'll be recording each of the monthly book club gatherings here in Living Resilience. We'll be recording them for those who are unable to be with us on one of the 2 monthly sessions that we're going to have for book club. What I'm most thrilled about is Jack's extraordinary depth at being able to integrate the metabolizing of trauma that we might have in our lives, in our bodies, in our relationships, He has an exquisite ability to articulate what that process can be like. He is masterful in Chinese healing, which is his what his doctor assignment is from. Um, but his what I consider to be his extraordinary gift in this world is to be able to articulate and to uh, invite people into ever deeper relationship with their own body and their own experiences and their own healing, especially as regards trauma. So that will be a powerful kickoff for the book club aspect of this 18-month to 2-year series. And we're expecting that, usually it takes about 2 to 3 months to go through a book together in the book club. We have some other fantastic books coming after Climate Cure. Again, if you have questions about any of this, you can join up and you'll see a lot of the information as soon as you've joined up. But you, of course, can contact me anytime. Hmm. A final element amongst many, there are many more I could bring up, but I don't want to make this unbearably long. One uh, very useful and potent aspect of our offerings here at Living Resilience is the not only the support groups that are really like a drop-in style support group that we offer weekly. We call those safe circle meetings, but we also offer a experiential uh, community of practice, meaning small circles that come together on a very regular basis, oftentimes weekly, to be able to explore different elements that will be of course, crafted by those people that show up for each particular circle. And oftentimes those folks will stay together for months and even years in terms of growing their capacity to be present in the ways that I was describing before, and able to stay present in the face of larger and larger stressors. So those are a few of the elements that will be right there in place with us all the way through the 18 months or up to 2 years that we're describing here for living resilience. Again, really the core of this particular video is to invite not only the people who are obvious fits for contributing something to us all in terms of self-regulation, co-regulation, shadow work, um, metabolizing grief together, and so many other elements. People who have that expertise, those, sure, that is an important part of what this invitation is. And you are invited. And we hope we can book um, an interview with you and or a panel discussion or a workshop event. But I just want to say one last time before signing off that this really is a warm invitation for all of us from every walk of life that may have joined here, may be somehow connected with this space, that you are also invited to share whatever is feels right to you to share about the inner resources and the external resources that you and your loved ones call on in these extraordinary times. Um, we hope to, I hope to meet you soon in one or another of our online events. Look forward to the sharing, the mutual exchange of these resources that we might offer to one another. And I hope that you also are able to really connect with, that what we call our introductory course, currently called Collateral Beauty. That's quite a serious title for us here, in that we've crossed over a threshold that we're just not interested in dwelling only on that which is not working, that which is collapsing, that which is so tragic and so grievous in our experience. It is indeed to feel fully as each of those elements show up in our lives, and to be able to hold space for one another when that happens. But we also, especially with this next 18-month to 2-year program, we're looking forward to unfolding the beauty that's available to us in every moment in our time together, no matter what the world is going through, no matter what elements of collapse of earth and human systems is going on. So we look forward to sharing that beauty with you. So thanks for watching this, and look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Bye. Thank you for joining us in another episode of the Poetry of Predicament. This podcast is produced by Dean Walker and the Living Resilience Alliance. Living Resilience exists to offer transformative support and resources to the collapse-aware and collapse-acceptant communities around the world. Our sole purpose is to curate and offer coaching, support groups, courses, and events that assist people in expanding their core skills, competencies, and capacities for facing a troubled, predicament-laden, yet still ineffably miraculous world.